Welcome, Leigh, to this conversation interview about youth work in the age of COVID-19. I'm Pauline Grace. I'm the MA Programme Leader for Youth and Community Work at Newman University in Birmingham, UK. And I know I've just said hi, Leigh, but could you introduce yourself and tell us who you are and where you're from?
Of course. So I'm Leigh Middleton. I'm a qualified youth worker. I'm the Chief Executive of the National Youth Agency. We are the national body for youth work across England, the Commonwealth and local government across the UK. And we are what is known as the boring word is the professional statutory regulatory body for youth work. So we regulate universities such as yourselves and accredit your courses to say they meet the national standards, which we also work with the field to set.
Great, thanks. And obviously the NYA has got this overview of what's happened in England recently because, I guess the global pandemic kind of took us all a little bit by surprise and we've all had to kind of be creative in our response. What's your view of what's happened and how youth workers responded to COVID-19?
Yeah, so I think there's two ways of looking at that. There's the impact on young people, and then there's how youth workers are responding. So our recent reports have sort of told us that in normal times, there's about 1 million young people that would access youth services at different levels across the country, week by week. But as a result of lockdown, young people are seeing greater need, greater disadvantage, some greater challenges as a result of the virus. So that's seen an additional 2 million young people who now need youth services. So 3 times the number of young people need access and support from professional youth workers and our colleagues up and down the country. And so it's absolutely vital that we're training more and more of these colleagues because there's going to be a massive challenge to meet that tripling of need. The response from youth work has been remarkable, actually, and actually we've seen an awful lot of youth services move online and going digital, and that works for a lot of young people, but not all young people. We've also seen a big rise in detached youth work, so youth work that happens out on the streets, not in a youth centre, not in a building. And engaging young people in their space where they choose to hang out. And whilst many young people have been super duper responsible regarding social distancing, there are others who are really struggling, who live in housing and accommodation or don't have their own private space, shared bedrooms. So actually being cooped up inside all the time is just horrendous for some young people. And so what youth workers have been trying to do is talk to them on the phone, talk to them via social media if possible, or can go and meet them out and about one-on-one if appropriate. So we've seen the youth sector sort of flip itself around and work with the police in different ways, work with health and social care colleagues in different ways, and engaging schools. So if you think that around only 5% of the young people, teenagers who were eligible to still attend school for support did. I mean, 95% voted with their feet and never went. But they were engaging with their youth workers because that's who they trust. So, we're very proud of our profession.
Fantastic, and that's a great overview, and that's definitely mirrored in what I've discovered and our team's discovered in talking to practitioners out in the region. They've been really creative, really resourceful, learnt some new skills quickly in terms of digital engagement, and I think some of that will last in a post-pandemic Britain. I think there are some kind of ways in which we can engage people that don't necessarily come to our projects, and that's wonderful. The detached youth work, street-based youth work is really interesting, and I know the NYA has given some guidance alongside the Federation of Detached Youth Work. Indeed. How has that been received, do you know?
So we're doing it twice. So we published some immediate advice about 6-7 weeks ago, just to help colleagues do it safely and think things through, and particularly where if you've always run a youth centre and you've always run youth clubs and suddenly you can't go in the building, but you've got all your young people who need help, you need to adjust what you do. So people have been stepped outside their comfort zones. We've been putting guidance out. I mean, and that's been very well received. It's been downloaded thousands of times and it is used extensively. There's brand new guidance due out in the next couple of weeks, maybe even tomorrow, regarding further support. So there's more standardised support around detached youth work for the sector. But as youth workers are resilient, they are nothing but enterprising, and they learn really quick, and you learn about different needs of young people very fast and react very quickly to them. So our colleagues have been able to pick that up really, really successfully.
Brilliant. I guess this title of key worker or essential worker has been used quite a lot recently, and that's caused quite a lot of discussion and debate, as you can imagine. What's the NYA's stance on that, and how are you supporting youth workers and youth organisations through that discussion?
Yeah, so youth workers are essential key workers in our view. We've made that very clear to government and to Number 10 and a range of others. All our reports talk about youth workers being essential key workers. We've got new government-backed guidance for the youth sector due out next week, and for the first time that will recognise youth workers as essential, and that is signed by the Minister. So we've finally achieved that objective. But, you know, I mean, youth workers are absolutely vital to young people. We know that often in their lives, youth workers can often be the only trusted adult that they will engage with. So, you know, work we're doing with the Home Office around young people who are at risk of sexual abuse. You know, even the Home Office going, well, young people told us really clearly, I wouldn't talk to my teacher because they're there to teach me English and maths. I have a real difficulty with my social worker because there might be the third one I've had this year and all the challenges that we know our social work colleagues have. Actually, our youth worker is the person who I'd go and talk to. So we know that more government departments are exploring the use of youth work practice as part of that work, and we just want to make sure that's done to the right standard and support young people in the right way. But yeah, so youth workers are essential key workers, and that varies up and down the country. Various police forces have defined youth workers as essential key workers. Some local authorities have done the same, and government will do next week.
Great, that's really useful information. Thanks for that, Leigh, because, I mean, it's hot off the presses, I guess. Because
yeah. I wrote it, so there we go.
Brilliant. And up and down the country, again, I guess there's a different response to you know, the protecting of youth workers and PPE and making sure that they're safe, as well as the young people that they're working with. But we can't, you know, dismiss the fact that there are a number of young people who are on the streets, who are at risk, who are missing out on youth work if youth workers aren't around. So that's really useful. Thank you. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us, or to sum up in terms of the National Youth Agency's positioning, I guess, in this whole thing, and how you've worked to support youth work?
Yeah, I think what we're trying to do is support more people to come into youth work. I mean, we have a bit of a mission internally. It's not particularly public, but we want as many adults doing youth work as humanly possible to the highest standard possible. So, you know, excellent institutions like yourselves and courses like yours are absolutely vital in supporting, you know, those adults to become experienced and skilled and qualified in supporting young people. If we imagine that we've got 3 times the number of young people with ever higher levels of need, well, then we need the adults and the people they trust to be just as highly equipped and skilled to meet that challenge. So we are pushing government and others to support, you know, more of our growth of training and development and bringing people in and CPD and other support. So we've built our online platform which has sort of CPD development opportunities for youth workers to keep your skills up to date, and we encourage as many people to go and get that basic foundation training as possible, and Newman would be a fair place to start. Brilliant,
thank you very much. That's so much is going on, and it's a fast-moving picture, so thanks for taking some time out of your busy schedule. We do appreciate it, and hopefully we look forward to seeing you soon in the flesh. Cheers, Leigh.
Thank you very much. Been a pleasure.